Here's exactly why Donald Trump will win in 2024, unless one of three things happens for
Joe Biden.
You must keep pushing forward. Never, ever give up.
My goal is to be completely unbiased in this video, though I have to also be real with you as a human and an American, so of course there will be some bias. But the reality is, I'm a little pissed and I just gotta get this out because there aren't enough people saying it like it is. So agree or disagree, I think you'll find a lot in this that makes sense. Reason number one why Donald Trump will win, and then we'll get into how Biden can flip this around. Number one, it doesn't matter who caused the inflation. A housing market, a downturn, a business slowdown, high oil prices, high gas prices. Everybody can point fingers. We could go Keystone. We could talk Nord Stream. We could talk about the money printing stimulus. We could talk about all of it. But that doesn't matter. It's all finger pointing. The problems are here. Now the question is, who's going to change it? Obama won by campaigning on hope. Hope for what? Change you can believe in.
There is not a black America and a white America and Latino America and Asian America. There's the United States of America. I am more optimistic about the future of America than ever before.
But people were so frustrated with what we ended up getting to some extent that what did we end up getting that won next? Drain the swamp and make America great again. We're tired of losing to China or losing in the Middle East or losing otherwise. Hope and the desire for change is ultimately what Americans are looking for. We feel tired of feeling bad. And when America feels bad, when we as Americans feel like crap, like the weight of the world is on our shoulders and we can't lift it off because we're being held down by outside constraints, what do? We vote. We vote for change. Therefore, the desire to change is highly likely to motivate massive support for the leading Republican, because the leading Republican will be a change from the status quo. Doesn't even matter who that is. Right now, Donald Trump happens to be leading the next closest Republican, DeSantis, by 30 to 40 points in regular polling. No other Republican opponent looks strong enough to beat Donald Trump, and unless something happens to Donald Trump, it looks like we're going to be faced with a Biden-Trump rematch. And that is point number two. See, once the Democratic Party chooses a candidate, the entire party aligns with that candidate. It's really difficult for the party to actually give you another choice because that's just not how the Democratic Party is wired. They don't care about giving you choice, they care about winning power. And they will pick one person they think has the greatest chance to give them that power. In this case, it is re-electing Joe Biden. It is exactly what happened in California during the recall attempt against Gavin Newsom. I ran against Governor Gavin Newsom in California because I think what he's done to the state is disgusting. But forget about California or the election that I came in second place of recall candidates in. It is to think that the reality is most of us can probably agree on 99% of things in this country. Now, maybe that's a little far, but I wholeheartedly believe I could sit down with every single person watching this video for a beer or coffee or Coca-Cola, whatever it is that you're into, because I actually don't think as Americans we're that far apart. But the Democratic Party has a tendency to coalesce behind one candidate and then silences any opposition to maximizes the chances that that one candidate wins. That's what they did in California. That is what they are doing on a national level now. That is why there has not been a prominent Democrat to come out and run. Yes, there's RFK, but we already know what's happening to his campaign. It is getting sandbagged, and it doesn't get any of the coverage. It doesn't get on debates because of the way the system is set up. So therefore, that candidate that Democrats have today is Joe Biden. Even though Gavin Newsom, of all people, for all the Democrats who actually are looking for another option, Gavin Newsom might actually appear like a reasonable choice for them. and keep in mind, when I say them, I'm purposefully just talking in third party about everybody. I'm technically a registered Democrat. I ran against him as a Democrat alternative, though I see myself as a 51-49er. I don't see myself as far left, far right. I don't see myself as anything other than American. And I wasn't even born in the country. I was born in Germany. But this video isn't about me. It's about Donald J. Trump and Joe Biden. Gavin Newsom's been given the instructions not to run. He's been instructed to wait. As a result, we're left with Biden. So, what is the third reason that might leave Donald Trump as president once again? It's Americans are simply frustrated. But not just frustrated by the economy that we're in, but by government abuse. And it doesn't even matter which of the following ones you are frustrated by, because some of the things I'm about to mention, some people are going to be like, no, that's the right thing. That's fine. But you just have to know that there are enough Americans in each of the camps that I'm about to mention to see, oh yeah, that is a lot of frustration. Number one, some Americans, in fact, potentially many Americans, just absolutely hate that we are funding the war in Ukraine. 60 Minutes just revealed that we're even funding the police and firefighters in Ukraine because they can't even set up their own infrastructure. So instead, Americans are paying for it. First, it's no tanks, then it's no jets, now it's jets, then it's no long-range missiles, now it's, how about some long-range missiles? Then it's no cluster bombs, now it's here are the cluster bombs. Many Americans see this as driving us closer and closer to World War III, a potential nuclear-armed conflict. They are frustrated that our home territory, America, is suffering. Look at our borders, look at our homeless problem, look at our schools, our children, for goodness sakes. I have 2 children. This hits near and dear to home because not only do I have 2 children, but I have a whole lot more children on the way. Within the next year, I'm going to have a lot more children. There will be a multiplier effect happening in this household. It's already on the way. Now, whether it's because of Chinese spy balloons infiltrating our homeland, our airspace, cyber attacks on our casinos, or miserable responses to disasters like our fires that are happening in either California or Hawaii, or other disasters like hurricanes in Florida or tornadoes, or just straight up rampant crime that goes unpunished, Americans are pissed. Yet you know what our DOJ is busy with? They are weaponizing the government to attack people like Trump and Elon Musk. Now, I understand that is just an opinion of some, and there are plenty who say they deserve it. Fine. Remember, I said you might agree that some Americans are pissed about Ukraine and others aren't. Some are pissed about weaponization of government. Some are not. Okay. You only need some of these things, though, to piss people off, to vote another way. Here's another one. Americans are concerned about the lack of ability of Congress to get anything done. Is our government actually on a sustainable path for spending? Or do we have a fiscally responsible government? Did we just extend the debt ceiling and blow past it by $3 trillion, getting to $33 trillion in national debt? Is this actually a sustainable path that we are on? Of course it's not. Now, maybe we can magically get out of it with this remarkable economic boom that may happen at some point in the future. Knock on wood, could happen. And maybe this debt won't matter that much in the future, but there are enough people concerned about it. Which, of course, brings up the idea that you only have to be upset by one of these things to be upset enough to vote for something different. See, whether or not Donald Trump would be successful or if he's just blowing smoke, at least he is saying he will end the war in 24 hours. Nobody actually believes it'll be over in 24 hours. But at least there's talk about ending the war versus no talk of ending the war. Now, people also don't think about Donald Trump as having lost his negotiation during the 2018 government shutdown. Remember when Donald Trump essentially sandbagged negotiations with Congress because he said, I need funding for my border wall. And the government was shut down for 35 days. And that government shutdown ended when all of a sudden people stopped showing up to air traffic control at LaGuardia and airports were starting to shut down, which ended up affecting all of transportation in America. Because when you shut down LaGuardia, guess what? There happens to be a chain reaction. You know what people don't remember is that Donald Trump didn't actually win border wall funding during that negotiation. But people do remember that Donald Trump tried. He stood up and fought. And right now, America's looking for somebody to stand up for them. And I hate to say it, but tripping over a sandbag isn't going to signal the confidence that somebody right now is going to stand up and fight for them. They're tired of bullshit politics. They're tired of weakness. They're tired of the Pelosi's and the McConnells of the world leading this country. Now, I want to be clear. I believe this is the greatest country ever. I wholeheartedly believe that. And I'm not here to tell you to vote for Trump or Biden. In fact, I'm going to give you some opinions about how Biden could actually beat Trump. That's how I'm going to try to balance this video, okay? We're going to give advice to the Biden administration. But I want to be clear, I'm not here to impose my opinion for what is best for you. I'm here to share why Trump is winning where Biden is losing. And it's just an observation. I could be wrong. It's my opinion. By the way, if you are frustrated and you are struggling in this economy, I want to hear from you by bringing you on this channel, no cost, totally for free. I want to come visit where you are in America and interview you. I want to hear the stories of real Americans who are struggling with what is happening today. Send me an email, kevin@meetkevin.com. Send me a video if you want in it. Tell me your story and why you want to share it. And I want to help you share that story because you are not alone. Now, the fourth reason Donald Trump will win, and then we'll get into Biden, is enthusiasm. When Americans are pissed about 30% inflation in vehicle prices, 40% in food, 18% across the board, interest rates likely to stay over 4% for the next years, leading to credit card interest rates in excess of 25%, mortgage rates in excess of 8%, car debt that's ridiculous, student loan debt that's too expensive, people feel abandoned and they feel like nobody is fighting for them. And in such a case, they will vote via a swing vote for the opposition to the current government. And once again, that's Donald Trump. Now, how does Biden turn it around? What are the three things that could stop Donald Trump? Number one, Biden strengthens up. Biden needs to show physical and mental strength. He needs to show the audacity and strength to finish the war in Ukraine, to stop the unsustainable spending, to prove that he can negotiate with Republicans. Unfortunately, we hear quiet on all of these three fronts. We hear more spending, more spending, more spending. We do not hear end war, end the unsustainability, and end the stalemates. We don't hear that. Instead, we just hear of more DOJ investigations. That is one way that Biden could potentially flip the narrative. Prove that he has strength in these aspects mentally, but also show some physical strength. We need, if I were in the Biden admin, I'd be like, we need Biden lifting some weights, playing some tennis, doing something a leader can physically do. Probably not going to happen, so I'm going to call option number one unlikely. Option number two. This is the dream scenario for Joe Biden. And it doesn't actually require him do anything at all. That's why it's the dream scenario. It's economic roses. It's inflation is gone. It proved to be transitory conveniently before the election. Interest rates end up getting cut substantially by the Federal Reserve right before the election. The stock market rallies. A housing crash is avoided. Pay raises start coming back. American business starts coming back. The war in Ukraine magically ends by potentially no fault of the American government, with the exception of all the spending that we're doing, maybe. China's economy stays in the doldrums, meaning the United States stays ahead. And Biden basically takes credit for all of it. Ending inflation, ending the war in Ukraine, China taking the back seat, America coming back, pay going back up, housing crash avoided. And this is actually a real potential. Like, literally, Biden could potentially do nothing, and all of this could magically happen. Yes, it could all literally happen by magic, that inflation is transitory and then rates will go down because they don't need to be higher any longer. And who knows, maybe China ends up negotiating an end to the war with Russia and Ukraine. It's probably not likely, but well, let's just say it all happens. I think this is the dream scenario because you probably have to be asleep to believe it. That's a George Carlin line. But anyway, the third thing that could stop Donald Trump is a heart attack or assassination. I'm not encouraging either of those. I'm just saying, these are the three things that I see that could stop Trump. And the most likely of these three, I actually think is option number 2, which is Biden does nothing and gets lucky. That is entirely possible. Now, I know some people are going to be like, what about election rigging? We're going to leave that for a different video. Or we'll skip it entirely because I believe America is great. I have hope in America. I believe all of us individually are great and collectively are even greater. The sum is better than all of the parts individually. Together, we are better. I really believe that. But I see the frustration that's out there. And it's that frustration that leads to change. And that's why I wanted to make this video. Now, if you've appreciated how blunt I've been in this video, this is exactly how clear my Noob vs. Pro crash courses will be on helping you actually build your wealth. Like, go to meetkevin.com. We have a pre-sale discount expiring this Friday. And when you go to meetkevin.com, you will see the headlines of the Noob vs. Pro crash courses. I will show you how not to be a noob in going 0 to millionaire in real estate, how to renovate real estate, how to make money in stocks, how to actually get ahead in your job, get a pay raise, how to negotiate, how to sell. I will teach you step by step in a blunt crash course, online, recorded, simple, easy to listen, easy to apply, practical advice. Go to meetkevin.com to learn more. And if you'd like this sort of blunt presentation, give me some feedback down below. I was a little bit frustrated. I had to get it out. And again, this video by no means is to say, here's my opinion for sure. Oh, go vote for this person, go vote for that person. I'm just making an observation as an American sitting here in America making a YouTube video. Thanks for watching. Go to meetkevin.com.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here? I feel like nobody else knows about this.
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kevin. Always great to get your take.